Hello, greetings, and welcome. Alright, so I have, well, you guys probably can't tell, it's pretty similar compared to the music that I've been doing. So, yeah, new playlist. This is not being streamed from a website online, so this should improve some of the stuff that I've been dealing with as far as the network itself. So, there's that. I'm getting a weird little reflection of my head back here in the background. I have Photoshop open. Right now you're seeing the feed from my camera because I let you guys know ahead that we were working back and forth between digital and real world stuffs. So I have this already set out. I'm probably just going to tape that cutting board that I have, the clear cutting board on top of this, just to preserve my screen, make sure no chemicals get into it, because I'm going to be using some, I think I'm going to use my Gamsol to try to dissolve the adhesive on this image. That should work. Now it doesn't want to go back where I had it, so we'll just park it over there. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to be cleaning some adhesive. I'm also going to be working on the digital piece, and apologies for those of you joining me on Twitch, I did not update the title of the stream for today. So that's slightly misleading because it's talking about inking a phoenix, and we did that yesterday. So that's my fault. That is the one thing I forgot because I was trying to catch up and do some schoolwork before starting the stream, and I realized I'm a little bit more rusty in the software that I'm trying to work with than I thought. I also need to add an input because I only have on my active stream desktop 1, which is my laptop. I don't have my tablet screen as a source on here, so I'm going to add that real quick. So it's happening in the background. So that's going to appear. I'm going to make it the same size as the screen here. And yeah, I don't mind doing that live. You guys get to see a little bit of what happens behind the scenes. So we'll put that here. I'm going to move that behind my image slideshow, even though that's going to peel off in just a minute here. And for that matter, I'll move desktop 1 below the slideshow too. So in the future, if I put it up, that way it's not just sitting above the frames before they pull off. That bit's animated. You'll see that the frames at the top and bottom go ahead and pull off in just a moment. I am going to turn off the image from my tablet input. So you're still seeing it from the camera. It's like, hello, real world me. Yeah, so I need to find where I parked that board. I believe it's over here on my desk. Yes, it is. Alright. Might be a little bit dusty, but we're just gonna pop that over here. I'll give it a quick wipe down in a moment. I keep those random bits of masking tape near my desk because I never know when I might need to grab it, and it's handy to have it just sitting here, like I can grab it with one-handed. So I'm just taping that up over the top of my tablet. I don't recommend you do this on your own unless you don't mind having little adhesive bits, because eventually masking tape does kind of shed its adhesive. It can be a little bit messy. So I don't love it for stuff. I mean, it is generally when it ages, it just kind of dries out and falls off. So if you're using that for mounting images, yeah, don't only do that for the short term. Don't do that for archival. Like, unless you're getting some archival tape. They have like linen hinging tape for that sort of deal. But oh, I missed a spot. That's gonna drive me insane just seeing the stuff. Like, I don't mind the random scratches and things and like paint splatter that's on here, because I know there's definitely paint splatter on here. If it's a project I've worked on, it there's definitely paint splatter on it somewhere. I'm going to wind up probably moving my light around a bit, just because that's where my paper towel roll sits, is right next to the light, and it kind of jostles the edge of the ring. But I don't mind it sitting up here, just because it provides a little bit of reflective light so it kind of bounces back and around the space I'm in. So I like it being up there. It's a nice little reflector, and it's free. Well, yeah, basically free reflector. I'm always going to have paper towels up near my surface. This is probably not going to just stay put if I sit it. Yeah, there's just enough drag downward. So I can see if maybe this will let it stay put. It kind of does it. So apologies for the extreme angle, but I didn't want to tie up a bunch of time switching between like the physical work and the digital work, because yeah, I can move this out of the way, but if I'm doing that like and it eats up like 5 minutes every time I'm moving it, like that's a lot of time being just eaten up with dealing with that. So here we are. So real world stuff first. As I get random weird skewings, whatever ends up sticking to my stuff. It's always fuzzies and whatever randomness. But yeah. Alright, so a little bit of the real world. I'm going to work on soaking this paper towel just a touch with the Gamsol. And we're going to work on removing some adhesive. This is the nerve-wracking part because I've not done this before. It's an experiment. This stuff dries pretty fast. Well, not really pretty fast. I would say moderately fast. So it shouldn't be an all-day wait. I'm going to put the lid on this tightly because I am accident prone. I don't want to dump a whole bottle of Gamsol everywhere. I'm going to start on this edge here. You're not going to be able to see all of it, but this should go ahead and dissolve that adhesive and let me lift it. I don't want any of that on here before I move on to the next steps. And the paper is going to be a little bit sensitive for a bit as far as, you know, really soaking this in, which is why I want to do this as a multi-step process. So initially it's just this first wave will be removing adhesive. Next wave, hopefully removing the adhesive all in one go works out. And then next wave would be me coming in here with some more color. So I want to change the edges. This is for those who didn't catch up with us yesterday. But for you guys who are new, yeah, after I do this, I'm going to give this an antiqued edge to go ahead and cover. You know, basically reworking what I'm dealing with on this. Like, this is not what's going to print, but I want to have it properly finished. That's something that was always in my mind because the originals are going back to who commissioned this work. And if she joined us today, hi! Surprise! You're on camera. Well, your work is on camera. And actually, this is working really well. This is, you can see little bits of adhesive are popping up now. So it's kind of like, initially I was just kind of saturating those areas. And now I'm going back and scrubbing a little harder with the paper towel. It's making the top of this kind of bend and bounce around, so apologies for the movement. It's slightly annoying, but like I said, I don't want to just keep moving between the tablet being on the desk and not. Okay, that's not a fun use of our time. Alright, so that's working pretty good. Other stuff that would probably work would be like, maybe something like Goo Gone, because that is heavily citrus oil based. There are also like just plain old citrus oil cleaners, and specifically for anybody who's into candle making, you might have just plain old citrus oil already on hand because it's used for cleaning out the molds for candles, and that would be, if you're going to try this with something else, I would try it with just the plain old citrus oil, which is what the mold cleaners for candle making uses. I'm gonna try to kind of bring these little adhesive, for lack of a better word, boogers. I don't want adhesive boogers on my work. Like, come here. Come off the work. I want you to be moving closer to the edge. So yeah, I'm being really gentle with this because I don't want to bring the edge of this onto the work more than I need to, because this is a mixed media work. I don't think it's going to lift any of the acrylic. I'm pretty sure it won't. It shouldn't do anything with the watercolor because Gamsol doesn't do anything with watercolor, but I have colored pencil details on here. It's not really on these edges. I used it mostly in detailing the flowers and the birds up here. With the scale I was working in, I thought that would be a nice touch and a nice way for me to work some dry media, which was easier for me when traveling out of the house. Because sometimes I do work out of the house. And it's really handy to carry colored pencils. You don't have to deal with, changing out water or waiting for stuff to dry. So if you're in a situation where, like, you'll be standing in line for a while, out running errands and stuff, that is a really, really handy option. Alright, so I'm trying to get the adhesive blobs that you're seeing. Like, I want them either stuck to the paper towel as I'm working, but if they're not sticking right to the towel where I'm working at, I'm kind of rubbing them off and then putting them on the, like, dry spots of the paper towel. So hopefully they'll stick because it's adhesive. I'd rather that than find little blobs of adhesive everywhere. I deal with enough weirdness with adhesives. My brother and sister used to make fun of me when they would see, like, my collection of glue. Because I used to have, like, all kinds of glue for all kinds of things. So, like, heavy-duty E6000, if you need to go there, for jewelry, stuff like that. I used to do a little bit of, like, making props for costuming, which I will get back to. I have a photo shoot idea. Well, I have 2 photo shoot ideas in mind. And I need to build props for that, so I may get back into that for here, because I don't want my camera to just be for, shooting this web series, I guess I could call it. To working at my desk. Like, this is not the sole reason I have my camera. I don't know yet what I'm doing for the month of June. I do like this coming on every day and working with you guys, but it also depends on how my little one is doing. My youngest is, hitting growth spurts, his schedule changes, and keeping up with the demands of a toddler schedule is a unique experience. I'll leave it at that. It is a unique experience. So, I don't know what might happen there, if these daily streams might relax a little bit. I do kind of like the idea of just daily practice in general. But if I can't do it at a time that works with him, that's, I'm not gonna hurt him in order to do what I'm trying to get done. And there's, a difference between being fussy once or twice, because kids are fussy occasionally. If it's an everyday thing where it's a big deal, that's a problem. Alright, so I'm getting these bits that have come down off the edge. I really want them out of the way, because this is a what's called an easy block. That's what Fluid marketed this block as. So what they did is the bottom and the top edge are secured to the rest of the pages. So those are both glue bound, and then the sides are open, which is why I covered the sides with tape, because I didn't want, I try to keep my bag pretty clean, but ultimately, if you've ever had like a purse or a change pouch or anything like that, that there's random junk that winds up in there, whether it's like fuzzies or dust or lint, like all that stuff winds up building up, and I didn't want that just seeping into the sides, so I try to protect the sides with masking tape, and then I deal with this ripping issue. So fun stuff. This side is like slightly dented, the paper slightly tore up there, but not bad. The heat gun did a pretty good job, and it was just pretty much adhesive was the main problem over here. Over here was, I didn't go as hard with the heat gun. This is the first part that I tried to peel up, and I saw that the paper was tearing, so I did my scan right away. I just put the tape back down. I was like, I'm gonna scan it as is. That way, if I peel up this tape, even, you know, thinking that I was going to try the heat gun and see if that method would work, I wanted to make sure I had this preserved ultimately. I didn't want to have to deal with that as, you know, a negative consequence, I guess. Like, you know, must preserve the work. I don't want to redo it. Alright, so now I am getting little adhesive blobs off me before I move on to scraping up the adhesive on the other side. I'm not going to worry about it from this edge. This edge actually, I peeled the tape off and it feels like it cleanly peeled. It did take a layer of the paper, which, that sucks. I'll still use this paper for something else, like this half. I was originally thinking I would fit like spring and summer on one page and that'd be super handy. Like, that didn't work. Stuff happens. Alright, so I don't think there's much in the way of adhesive up here. That should be pretty quick. And down here, we'll just let that kind of soak in a little bit. You can feel it kind of become a little bit more slippery as the adhesive starts to pull up a little bit. And down here, looks like that peeled pretty well. That pretty much took that layer. So there's not a whole lot of adhesive on this side. Just this section in the middle. So keep rubbing and rubbing. Watch that adhesive pool up into little blobs. Little gross blobs of adhesive. I'm sorry, this is not the most glamorous bit, but, you know, I feel like this is important to show because I don't think anybody else is showing kind of like behind the scenes of the practice and stuff that can happen and, you know, how you can go ahead and try to correct that. That's why I'm just going on about this. I'm gonna see what I can wipe downward just to get off, because I think it's gonna be a little easier for me to just pick up those little blobs from the cutting board section. Alright, I think most of it's off. This section is still a little rough. You have to let me know what you guys think of the new music. And so far it looks like the acrylic hasn't moved at all. I did all the line work on this one with the acrylic, and then I did watercolor washes. It doesn't quite feel like the paper. I don't know if that's because it's still wet. I'm gonna give this another little scrub. I might need a little bit more Gamsol. But yeah, basically mineral spirits are what you want to use, or maybe like a citrus oil. Should be able to denature the adhesive and make it peel up like that. It works for stuff like labels. I probably should remove the adhesive from this side because I already have some ideas on what to do to salvage this page. Like, I'm not just gonna waste it. I'll probably use it for like sampling color washes. I might use it for take advantage of that peeled up paper, and that'll really like help antique it. Maybe I'll turn it into like a cool postcard. This wouldn't be like a high value type of final. It'll be more like just tooling around, experimenting, and if somebody's interested in it, cool. I can't wait to get into the summer one, which is part of why I shifted gears already, because the summer solstice is just a month away. It's freaking crazy how time flies. Alright, I think I have the adhesive blobs up. I'm gonna let that sit now. No, it's still there. I can feel it right there. There's adhesive blobs there. Or my other finger. There's a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna give it another quick pass with the Gamsol. We're 20 minutes in, and highly interesting content, I'm sure. The things we do to make sure our finished pieces are finished well. I'm just checking this, since now I'm being a little bit paranoid. I think it's okay. Give this another quick scrub. This side's where it's worse. Definitely worse. I'm scraping a little bit with my nail, since I'm not... I don't know. I feel like that's appropriate. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a scrape with my nail, see if it goes anywhere. It's interesting. It looks like it's been picking up the graphite line I put down, which is unexpected. So that is interesting to see. It still feels a little bit off. I'm hoping it's going to accept a watercolor wash, because that was the plan for coming back into it. Ooh, that's definitely sticky right here. Yeah, this edge got preserved pretty well, but the center is pretty well wrecked. I wish I had more interesting conversation for you right this second. I'm just seeing crazy stuff going on in the news about Oklahoma, man. I'm glad I don't live in Oklahoma. I saw, like, there's, you know, exemptions in the law about, like, you know, women who have... you know what, I'm not even gonna say the words, because, like, at some point, you know, this will be scanned, and if I get it to a point of monetization, this would be one of those videos that just wouldn't have it. But, like, scenarios where women were forced into certain physical acts, yeah, like, they leave that as, like, a possible reason to seek, you know, seek services. Keep that kind of slightly vague, but, you know, I'm glad that they included that as an exemption, but it's like, you can only seek these services if you've reported it to the police. So you have to relive that type of trauma, and that's upsetting. Because not everybody goes to seek the authorities for scenarios like that. My little one decided to nap early. Normally he's still fighting it. Most days he's still fighting it. And it's like, I know you need a nap, kid. Like, just bonk out and take that nap. Alright, so... it's like, I'm glad that they wrote some exemptions in, but at the same time, I don't feel like they've gone far enough. Like, codifying this into a law is... I don't know. I don't agree with it. I have this crazy burr on my nail, so I'm getting that before it's too effing distracting. I wish I knew where my file was. That's not gonna get it. Damn it. I'm gonna have to cut that. I need to redo my nails anyway. I will leave it alone. I will try to pretend it's not there. Alright, we're gonna let this dry. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just slide this out of the way. We're gonna grab this guy. I do need to peel off the tape though. I always keep like some random little pieces of tape up at the top of my desk because, like I said, you never know when you just want to plop that in place one-handed, and it is super convenient having it there. Alright. So now they've been coughing and hacking out of nowhere. I'm going to stop for just a sec to grab a drink. So get up, do a stretch. Alright, and since I'm coming off of that, I'm going to open up for comments, see if there's anything going on Twitch. Alright, so it looks like not a whole lot, but hello, feel free to comment. I am happy to answer any questions you might have about process and things of that nature. And I'm going to switch back over to the open stream. I think we'll go with the desktop from from my tablet screen. And real quick, on this end, I just need to get the file open. So there it is. There's the original scan. So I'm going in the scan. I do have a version of that was just like a basic crop, but I don't want to work with that. I want to work with the scan itself, just to make sure I have all the data there. Alright. Alright, and... Helps if I grab the right pen. Do clockwise. Alright, and I do want to go in and crop, and I'm just kind of like, here it is. Uh, 4x6 is correct. Just need to get narrow enough and then move the image. Made that a little too small. Alright, I'm going to hold off on that for a moment. Nope. I want to undo that. Control Z. Alright, so I'm going to zoom just a touch before I'm going in to do that, because I don't want that sitting the way it did. I'm gonna back up just once. Alright, now I can go into this crop and I can see better how I am framing this. That doesn't quite look centered. That's good. Yeah. Alright. So, not a whole lot of removal that I'll need to be doing. One thing I could have done is to, oh, my brain will catch up with me eventually today. One thing I could have done is save the other half and that way I could have used that as paper, quote-unquote paper, to go ahead and put into this. I'm going to save this real quick as a Photoshop document. Yeah, that's fine. So now I can come back over here. I gotta wait for that to save, don't I? Yep. Alright, and then we can go into our open recent. Nope, still asking me about compatibility. Like, just get on with it, please. Alright, so... go back into the PDF. Go. Rotate. I'm just looking at this, seeing how it looks. I'm going to see if that might be useful for me. I don't know if this is going to let me do... Yeah. Layer via copy. And then I'm just going to grab that layer and I'm going to move it over here. And you can see my layers over here. This should be the same size. Yeah. That's good. Alright. So I'm just going to take that. We're working on just that layer. And I'm going to further just grab it. Sorry, I gotta move my cursor to keep up with me. We're gonna layer via cut. And I can just make that one go away for right now. The nice thing about having done this one on a flatbed scanner, because generally I could just sit here, put that over the edges, and it should look right. Should. Move over here. Now you're seeing a lot of ghosting in the background for where the move lines are. Like where each of the objects that I've had selected recently are. And that is probably just my computer lagging a little bit. And it shouldn't be lagging. I'm going in just to free up some memory. I don't normally like have so much streaming going on. Our playlist is stopped. Wow, so those were incredibly short track lengths. Just gonna start on maybe the second track. And just play. So I know to add another one of these soundtracks to the playlist next time. I didn't go ahead and total up the time for them, so I would know the length. This was just kind of spur of the moment decision. Going to go back over here. Gonna come in. You know what? I'm just gonna grab that. We're gonna go delete. Alright, and then Control D to deselect. Back to V to go ahead and move this guy around. What are you? There's a random spot there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just select that real quick. And we're going to put a negative, which is going to flip. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing within the camera. Hold on. Okay, so what I did with adding that negative up here was to flip that piece, so that little spot is just, it's going to be off the frame. I'm just going to move this out of the way. Yeah, I'm good with that movement. So we'll just go ahead and slide that over here. And I'm going to just elongate that ever so slightly. And yeah, my computer is still showing that ghosting. I don't like that ghosting. But yeah, I'm gonna switch back to the view now that you don't need to see my hand. There we go. Alright, so, I'm gonna just hit save real quick. And I can close that one. No, I don't need to save that. So, this is saved. I'm gonna close out of it. And just give my computer a moment. Just as far as... I don't want to see those ghosted lines. I just want to make sure that my file looks good. And this is a step that I normally wouldn't have to take. But yeah, that edge has a little bit of distortion. So here, I'll go ahead and move that to fit screen. You can see a line here on the left side next to where I have that. And that just tells me that the lighting was not that consistent for this edge of the scan. Now there's a couple ways I can approach that. One way I can do this is to go ahead and merge these layers and then use the spot healing brush. I can also go ahead and try to adjust the levels. And I think we'll try that first. We'll go into our layers, adjustment layer, levels. And I'm gonna see, just maybe, I can get that fixed. This is not the levels that I was thinking of. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that'll work. Sorry, I still have secondary windows showing up on my my main screen. That throws me a bit. There we go. Alright, so let's see what happens if I move that in a little. That didn't help. Try it up there. This has desaturated a lot more of the image than I'd like. By a lot. Okay, so we're not gonna do it by levels. Even though I could probably bring that in a little bit and adjust this just a touch. I think that puts in a pretty good spot compared to the real thing. So I'll go ahead and switch back over to camera so I can show you the real life one versus the one on screen. So I'll just see how well they're displaying as far as saturation. Of course, the one on screen is going to be a bit cooler because of how that was scanned, and I'll go ahead and just angle this way. I think that's pretty good. It has bumped up the saturation just a touch in here, but I don't mind that. Yeah, I think other than getting whatever this spot is, oops, back to fit screen. Yeah, spot correcting that because I don't know where that came from. That was probably dust on the scanner bed. Oh, there's another spot up here. And then adjusting that line. That's the finicky bit, but it's not looking bad from what I see. I actually like how it slightly toned down that graphite line that I used here on the edge of the bird. So that's good. I wonder where else I can adjust that. Anyway, we're gonna move on to this layer. Grab the spot healing brush. I'm going to make that a little bigger. Ooh, it looks like I have a section selected up here. You see what I mean about the computer. Something about moving it suddenly, like, gets those ghosted pixels to just disappear finally. But yeah, that'll just be sitting there for a while, and that's probably a memory setting that I need to adjust on the computer. Yeah, I still gotta work on that. Oh, helps if I go back to this. See how that's an improvement. It looks like it was maybe some of the shadow caused by the masking tape, but I still gotta do something about that. I also do have a spot here that I know of where my purple, a little bit of the wash got away from me. I'll go back into... Here's where the spot healing brush is probably not going to do me no good. It's probably too close to the other sections for it to do anything. Yeah. So this is where we get its cousin. We can grab the... probably the patch tool. Oh, let me switch back to the screen. Sorry about that. Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong tool. I want the regular healing brush. Oh, no, I do have the right one. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I'm not liking how it handled that. It's still, going back and doing like a gush and blur, I think, afterwards. I don't like how it's doing that, so we're gonna just move away. Undo patch. Okay, we're good. So then, it looks like I'll be painting a bit. That's fine. Go in here with the brush tool. First I'm going to grab the eyedropper. And I want the temperature to be pretty similar, so I did the eyedropper like nearby where the purple is. I'm just going to go in with the brush and just very finely paint that. I have a fairly soft brush. It's only like a 12% hardness, which might be a little too soft for this, but we'll see. Alright, and then just switch back to zoom. We can also switch over to the hand tool to go ahead and just move it around. Whatever works. And a little smaller. In case you're wondering how I switched to some of those, a lot of it's keyboard shortcuts. You'll see some like ghosting from the scan, but that's not going to affect this on a large scale. I'm not going to drive myself crazy with this because it's not going to be printed at this type of scale. I'm just going to grab the hand tool. That way we can move back over here. Because I want to see what this edge looks like. Actually, I'm lying. I'm going to go back to here, make sure this looks okay from what I can see at the full size before I touch anything over here. Moving the patch layer, basically the band-aid that we use for the left side, has resolved a good bit of it. I just moved it over like another pixel. Make sure I'm not cutting off any of the edges of the image. Okay, good. I was worried about these two areas. So how flat that looked, I was worried that that you cut that off. A lot of times I don't recommend doing any of this on the image layer. that one worked well enough that it's a simple one, but over here it's going to be a little bit more intensive. What I'll do is I'll just make another layer. I'm gonna name that one repaint. I'm not doing that for the purple one because that one was pretty straightforward. This one involves a lot more like shading, stuff like that on the side. I'm gonna do left patch, right patch. I really don't need my camera at the moment. Alright, so back to the repaint layer. We're gonna zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to grab the eyedropper to grab an area near the same value, which would probably be from our patch. It'll just be on the patch layer, even though the eyedropper should sample from any layer. Yeah, sample all layers. So it doesn't matter which layer you're on when you sample it. I'm gonna come in here with my brush, kind of big. It's still a really soft edge brush. I'm actually going to take that layer and I'm going to move it above the patches that I did. Because I am effectively painting this a little bit, you want to soften that edge and have everything blend right into that. And try to stay well away from our detailed bits. Back to the hand tool, drag this down. Back to the brush. Oop, too much. And occasionally you're seeing me undo the work that I just did, because sometimes the haze from this brush painting over is affecting the work. Don't want that. I just want to smooth these edges out. Alright, so at this point, I'm just grabbing a sip of my beverage again because I'm coughing again. It's between allergies and a heat advisory today, like the air quality right this second is not doing so good. So I'm a little more than usual. But even that said, I think I'm pretty much done on this. One thing that I haven't done yet and that I really need to is to create a watermark to put on work that I'm doing. So that is my next consideration. So let me just come back to here. Alright, so that seems dry. The adhesive appears to be gone. A little spot up here, but you know what? I will give that a quick scrub. I'm not as concerned about that drying. I don't think there's any Gamsol left that's active on here. Yeah, I need to grab a little bit more Gamsol. Okay, so this is effectively still drying, so I'm going to move back to the screen. So right now, because I don't have the cutting board back on the screen, I'm just giving this a quick scrub off camera and giving you guys the finished piece that we're working on as a background image. So I just gave that a quick scrub. I think I got that one spot that was still like holding firm. I do actually see like a little bit of like discoloration in the sense that like it's still wet with the Gamsol, besides where I was just reworking it. So because of that, we're not going to be touching the physical print for the rest of this stream. I'll go ahead and deal with the those finishing touches. We'll go ahead and try to get to tomorrow. So what I can do from this point, let's see, our print is done. I could probably just work up a bit from the text image. So let's see. Just going into my folder. I'm going to go into my business card. I think if I can find the... Yeah, there it is. Alright, so my original card design needs a bit of work anyway. That is a plan for a redo. I'm currently opening that up in Photoshop right now, so you should see that pop up over in just a second. But yeah, I'm just going to grab a chunk of the text layer and move that over to the layer on the commission as a watermark. And because I found so many other like Red Persephone breadcrumbs online, I'm actually going to add the word art. Going back and forth a little bit, I need to reset these guys to the default black and white. Is this what I want to do? that. The image color. And it's pretty likely that I would do like mostly that. Just checking out. I don't feel like this shows up all that great. Like, even so, after I go ahead and put this in, excuse me, and then go ahead and drop the transparency a little bit for like a decent watermark. Here, I'll just show you what I mean. So just select them both. I'll drop the transparency down to like about 50% for like a watermark. I feel like that's maybe not so effective. What I might do is mostly the transparent watermark, and then maybe one that is a little bit more opaque down in the corner, like what happens for my YouTube videos that I uploaded a watermark for. And the reason why I'm working on the watermark right on top of the image is just for myself to have a good idea as far as how this will appear in reality. Alright, so I'm going to bump the opacity back to full while I go ahead and finish working these. Just going in, duplicating the layer. Just figuring out kind of placement, how I want these things to appear. Maybe one more. Alright, and then things that have like a more opaque background would show up a bit better. Yeah, I don't like how they're spaced, so I'm going to grab the bottommost one. I'm going to bring it down here a little bit. And then I'm going to grab all of them, and I'm going to use these to change how they're spaced. Let's see, I don't want to center align them, I just want to distribute them amongst the page. And I'm forgetting... There we go, distribute vertically. There we go. So now they're spread out using that spacing. I think that's not too bad. Alright, and then I do need just the other piece. Like I said, I was going to do the rest of the layer's going to be lower opacity, and then this layer will be a more opaque one. And there it is, the finished file for the video watermark. And that'll be up in just a second here. So that's the watermark all flattened already for us. I'm going to wind up flattening these layers and I'll move them off later on. I'm going to close this. I'm not saving that because I don't want to add the word art to the business card necessarily. Though I probably should because of trying to avoid complications. Oh, this is the layers version. I don't want to grab my layers version. Hold on. I'm just checking in that folder. I'm pretty sure I created a flattened version. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I just grabbed the wrong file. Okay, so we're almost at the 1 hour mark anyway. But there we go. We have the other video watermark. Just grab my Convert to normal layer. There we go. Okay, now I can move you. So maybe do something like that. I don't like that. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of that layer. I think what I want to do is... I'm on the fence about it. I was thinking I want to drop off the background, but I really don't, because I might have stuff that could interfere with that, like visually, like everything that's over here. Should I go over here? Should I go over there? Alright, so I dropped in the black layer just so I can see better where my stuff was. I fixed the alignment because, for me, that's just going to be sitting there in my brain like twitch, twitch. One thing I do want to do is just move these up ever so slightly, since I have those two selected, just that way they're not touching the square. And then I think these can be merged together. Do-do-do. Where are my merge layers? I must have missed it. Oh, I have to rasterize them, I think. Yeah, I gotta rasterize them before I merge them. That's okay. I don't mind that. Alright, so now I can drop their opacity. Probably 50% is good. I want to make sure that they will kind of show. And then I'm going to merge this in. And I want that to remain completely solid. And this will be my 6x8 watermark. I am gonna hit save anyway, just for this. And then I'm gonna do save a copy. Alright, let's rename this 6x8. And I don't want this in here, I want this in my stuff. So we'll save a copy of it this way. And once that maximizes compatibility, okay, so now I'm going to rename this layer watermark. This one I'm going to throw out. And this one I'm going to hit save. And I'm going to drop the watermark off. I want to save a copy of this Probably as a PNG. I tend to like PNGs because you can get save transparent layers. And I'm going to save a copy of the watermarked version. So, save copy. Get to the PNGs. Watermarked. Alright. And since we're like approaching 5 minutes over, and I have Cranky Baby because he napped and then he was fussy, I guess. I'm not sure what he wants, so I need to take care of him. But it has been a joy being with you guys, getting to show you some of the behind the scenes stuff. And I hope that you'll join me again. Let's see, tomorrow is. Ooh, what is tomorrow? Tomorrow is going to be. Well, hold on. I'm going to switch back to camera. That's what I'm going to do first. Switch back to camera so you can see my flailing fingers really fast. I'm going to work on the finishing touches with the wash, cutting this down to size, preserving the image itself. I might, if I have time before the stream, I might actually do the antiquing for the edges and cutting it down, and that way you just see me go ahead and apply the fixative to seal the work because of the ragged paper edges. I don't want those to potentially peel. I want to go ahead and add this finishing layer, which should keep the fibers from peeling up further. So I do want it to do something to go ahead and preserve this. And what else? We have our dragon and phoenix. I'm going to do a last looks at them tomorrow, and I should go ahead and scan them, and maybe we'll do the digital work for them. Either that, or after this, I might get into the design work. That's a debate. Because there's the stuff in Cricut that I want to go ahead and work on some of the Cricut Access stuff before that expires on the 23rd. Because I don't always renew that one. I don't do a ton of Cricut projects, so I get access pretty intermittently. And yeah, I just want to knock out like a couple more projects before that expires. So that is one of my goals. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. So hope it's been fun. As always, keep painting, drawing, sketching, do all the fun things, make that art. Have a great night. Bye.